Hey Rangers, today I'm going to be taking a look at the season finale of episode 21 of Ninja Steel, and I've got to admit, it was good, it had some down points, and it had some really, that wouldn't kind of mix, and it almost led me to believe this could be air since the Super Dino Charge. So I'm going to kind of explain and go through my points. I'm also going to be reviewing the episode. When it opens up, you've got Cosmo, and he's talking about like the season finale, and it's like a catch up. I actually thought that was actually really cool. It didn't catch me off guard, but I was like, okay, I can understand that. I think that's really, really cool. And I actually quite enjoyed it. It's very much like a TV would be. It's like saying, this is the finale. And I'm like, okay, I like that. You know it's a finale, so I was okay with it. I've not seen the previous episode, which I might watch, but apparently Monty and Victor have made this magnet that can attract Ninja Steel. That's why? How? That's okay, so I'm not debating that. I will probably talk about that in a later video. But when looking at they've given it to Galvanex, I thought this was cool because he actually uses it properly, not just this machine will do this really quickly. And he actually takes the Ninja Stars. I was like, okay, that's really cool. As soon as the Ninja Stars were gone, boom, they depowered and they were demorphed. And this is one thing I actually generally like because it was utilizing what they had and it wasn't the kind of same and it wasn't kind of dull. Had to change the camera then, or the battery, so let's continue. So the magnet is really, really cool. And then that's when Galvanex captures the Rangers, ties them up, and to be honest, you could easily get out of that rope, guys. Seriously, I would have put like metal chains or something so they couldn't break it so easily. But then when Brody's like, oh my god, I'm coming for you guys, he teleports all the Rangers to the ships, bar Brody. And I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. He's using what he's got to actually like defeat the Rangers quite easily and separate them. This is when Mick jumps in and using like Brody's dad's sword, and he also defeats some of the bots. Now Brody has like one Ninja Star left, and that's when Mick gives it to him, and it's the bike, and they just kind of go off to kind of like rethink and regroup, which is fine. It's a good way, a good tactic to say, I'm getting out of here, that's it. But then it kind of switches to Monty and Victor on the ship, and I know that they've built this. They've come up with the technology to kind of take the Ninja Stars. I'm gonna have to watch the episode beforehand, but this is when, and it makes me think they are still stupid. I don't know how they made this machine or came up with the idea, but it then comes up to the point where they're building a giant magnet, the same thing for the ship, so that they can steal the Ninja Steel. But they're under the impression it's beating Galvanex. Look, right, if you're going to make these characters kind of very believable and not stupid, you write them so that they either have to do it against their will, the fact is that they will destroy them, or that they will hurt the people that they would love, etc, etc. But then Monty and Victor should be like, yeah, they're bad guys. They are 100% bad guys that we need to go and defeat. It's just like, come on, seriously. But then later on, they do something that annoys me, but we're going to talk about that in a bit. So then we come up to the ship, the Rangers are on the ship, they get teleported down, blah, blah, blah. Galvanex is attacking the Red Ranger, but then he gives the ultimatum. He says, look, if you don't give me your Ninja Star, I'm going to kill all your friends. And that's when Brody goes, well, my dad did this like X amount of years ago, destroys his Ninja Star, which then splits into 3, and that's it. And then it becomes like the Rangers. Mick becomes a Ranger, we got Brody's dad, and then we also got Brody, who is there, boom. It's a simple thing, which it's pretty much almost taken from the Ninja, this whole thing where they were using the footage, but it was a very good way of bringing it in. And I've got to admit, they wrote it really smartly on that one, and I have to give them credit on that. Galvanex then just melts the Ninja Stars and then kind of drinks it, so he's got Ninja Steel in his veins apparently, which is now I don't know if this is before or after. We then switch to Monty and Victor on the ship. They dress up as the robots, and then they go onto the stage, and they're like, well, we must go and get the Rangers or something like that, and everyone kind of believes it and is like, oh no, but wait a minute, these guys don't talk. They turn around and make Monty go like, oh, my stomach, and then just farts everywhere. I can understand you guys throwing that in at the very beginning of the season and kind of doing it, but there is a smarter way of writing this, which I'm going to talk about at the very end. But I generally thought that this was their way of trying to get like a cheap laugh, and fart sounds are generally funny, but in this sort of situation, it was Okay. I wanted to continue watching it, but I just generally thought, you're having a good episode so far, you have to lower it to this tone, and it just doesn't kind of work. So then they kind of like teleport out. Now for me, I would have had them fighting or trying to dodge and then teleport out. It's a better way of doing it rather than utilizing a fart joke. Now, again, another kind of plot line. So the two main things that we're going to have is you've got the ship on the magnet, and then apparently earlier on in the episode, we see that there is an asteroid that has tons of ninja steel. It's huge. It's an asteroid. Yeah, it's an asteroid. It has tons and tons of ninja steel inside it. So the magnet gets activated. Osiris, I think that is, or Odious. No, Odious then turns around and activates it, because then Galvanax turns around and says, no, the ninja steel in my body is reacting to the magnet. And she reveals her plan that she wants to betray them, blah, 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 blah. This is when the Rangers are there and they've got their weapons and they're holding onto it. Now, I'm sorry, but if a magnet previously, which was the size of, say, let's say a human person, was able to pick the ninja stars from their morphers really easily, that size magnet, regardless of it, would have taken the magnet out, and that's it. It would have gone, whoosh. You wouldn't have been able to hold on to it. In fact, that you would have demorphed and the whole fight. So again, we'll talk about this at the end. So the Rangers then defeat Galvanax, and to be honest, it wasn't a bad way of defeating it. I could understand why, and it actually generally felt a really good kind of ending towards that character. And it also means that it wasn't just the whole, we need Megazords, it was an actual, the Rangers take it on. So they're as powerful as a Megazord, technically, but I liked it. But then at the very end, after Galvanax has been defeated, the Rangers find out that the Nexus Prism has actually just been destroyed, and it then turns around and destroys the Ninja Stars, bar the Red Rangers. I think that's going to be quite important. But due to that, they all turn to dust, and they're kind of like, oh my god, what's going to happen now? Then again, Monty and Victor are interviewed, didn't need to be in there, and then we have like them singing. Mick leaves to go back to see his parents, which was talked about in an earlier episode, and then we have the boys and the Rangers all kind of singing songs about what's happened. And at the very end, we had the destruction of the spaceship, and it was just kind of like there, and Madame Odious, I hope I got her name right, is the only survivor. And you know, that was a good ending. That actually got me hooked to actually wanting to watch Super Ninja Steel, because I kind of really want to know that, and also how Sledge is. So that's my kind of really quick, rough review of episode 21. But let's talk about the main things that kind of annoyed me in this. And there's only a few, but I think it could be written better. So far, I can understand that if the asteroid was sent or is coming to Earth, and the magnet kind of brought it in faster, which then took out the ship. But the way that it was is when Galvanax is fighting, they use the magnet, and then all of a sudden the meteor looks like it's coming from Earth. But if it hit Earth, it would have gone everywhere and more destruction. But yet it wasn't here, and I'm like, oh, it's coming from Earth, which then means that it would hit the ship, and the ship would then crash on Earth, not get flung into space. It just, that part didn't make sense, and it just felt like this is a very easy way of defeating this and throwing it all in. The magnet would have been 100 times stronger than the one they had previously, and the Rangers wouldn't be able to hold on to the weapons, or they would be straight up to the ship if they could. This just felt like it was a way of saying, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this. And even with Galvanax and the way that he was, he wouldn't have been stood there. He would probably have moved towards it a little bit, but, you know, give it a doubt, he could be holding his ground, and that's fine. But still, it just felt very rushed, that part, and I was like, oh, you could have used that for a later on, like much later on in the next season. Then we have the farting. It felt like a cheap laugh that, you know, after all the saying, you're going to get the kids to go, haha, it's so funny because they farted. And it's not just it's a proper, you know, gas, and Monty's like, oh, Miss Tambic, oh, it's everywhere, Victor, it's everywhere. No, it just didn't need to be in there. It generally did not need to be in there. And it could have been more dodging, fighting, doing whatever. And then they teleport out. Oh, just, I really hope that they are written better in the next season and they are not like themselves. And it's just, get rid of this whole comedy gag thing, because it's just generally annoying shit now. But seriously, oh, that just kind of annoyed me. And the whole interview at the end, the interviewer turns around and goes, well, you know, you're the only humans that have been around monsters before, apart from the Power Rangers. And I'm like, okay, is this in Ninja Steel? Is that the main thing? Is it because Ninja Steel is separate? Or are you talking about all the Power Rangers? Because, to be honest, Bulk and Skull and other humans have been around them that aren't Rangers, and this is what kind of got to me a little bit. But if it's just in the Ninja Steel, that's fine, I can understand that, and I'm more happy with it. The whole ending of this felt like a Mighty Morphin ending to me, and I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the fact they took a little bit of time to put it into a finale to actually also get you hooked on it. I generally like that, and I thought that was a very interesting and good way of doing it. And I'm kind of now really looking forward to watching the next season. They've done their job. They've actually made me kind of really want to watch it and enjoy it. And this is what I'm really hoping is going to continue. And then when we come into the next season, it's going to be probably better. I'm hoping that the guys working over the show have actually looked at all the feedback, have actually gone and broken things down, and actually made the next season a hell of a lot better. Or it's going to continue with the same sort of writing where it's not going to be interesting and it's going to be quite boring. But I will honestly say this was kind of a solid episode. It had me hooked, but again, adding Monty and Victor into it, I wasn't a big fan. And again, the whole farting thing just kind of annoyed me, because if it is just aimed for getting kids to laugh, come on guys, there are other things that you could do to make them laugh. Anyway, but there we go, Rangers. There's kind of my thoughts on episode 21. What did you think about this? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos on the channel. If you want to help support the channel on Patreon, the link will be in the description down below. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.